In this video, we'll look at the stages I went through to paint in watercolour this realistic cosmos flower. Hi, I'm Anna Mason. Welcome to Nature Studio TV, here to help you become the artist you want to be. This stunning cosmos is packed full of detail and is available as a long-format video class in Nature Studio, my online art school and community. Here's a quick overview. With the outline drawn faintly but accurately, I used a watery wash to map out all the colour areas of the composition, starting with the petals. I used a limited palette of 6 paints for this piece. I took care to paint in the direction of form as I worked my way around the flower, stems and leaves, the yellow centre and the dark bud crowned by green sepals. Once that layer had fully dried, I revisited the petals with a more purplish mix, using the tip of my brush to apply this darker colour everywhere except for the lighter areas. I was paying attention to the direction of the brush strokes, which started to build up the impression of curves. I let that completely dry, then came back to the centre. Using the tip of my small brush and with a dark yellow mix, I stippled the flower disc to create texture, leaving gaps through to the pale colour behind and creating slightly darker areas where there were overlaps of my brush markings. With a mid-yellow mix, I darkened the centre of the disc, again leaving flecks of the paler colour underneath. With that dry, I then mixed a dark black colour and with my small brush painted the little dots around the flower centre. I wasn't being exact here, rather recreating the overall look. These dark dots showed me I needed to darken further the yellow areas, so I stippled those some more and then left it to dry. Now came the scary part, adding in the very darkest tones in the whole painting. For these, I mixed a rich dark colour and used the tip of my brush to gently apply it around the flower centre, feathering this dark colour outwards for a graduated transition into lighter tones. I gave the same treatment to the bud next. This stage always requires trust in the method, but I knew that the next step would bring the lightest and darkest tones together. Before we move on, I thought I'd take a moment to remind you that this free mini-class gives you a quick summary of the longer format step-by-step tutorial that's over an hour in length and is included with membership of my online art school Nature Studio. I'll tell you more about it later. You can also find the full version of this cosmos on Skillshare, where I have a small number of classes available. I used the darkest greens in the bud next, again using the tip of the brush to leave lighter patches to recreate the uneven appearance we so often see in nature. Keeping my hand steady, I then painted the shadows on the stem, trying to create a crisp edge and leaving it lighter in the middle to give the appearance of a rounded shape. I painted the little leaf with this dark green mix, then changed to a lighter green to gently darken the mid-tones in the now dried greenery. Here I was seeking to get the tones looking about right whilst building visual texture with line details. When that was dry, I darkened the bud petals, leaving some lighter shapes to show the curvy form. I came back to the petals next, using a medium brush and thick paint mix to work into the darker mid-tone areas and feathered into the lighter ones for a graduated effect. I watered that mix down some more, using it wherever I spotted darker mid-tones in this hue. I worked into the mid-tones next, adjusting the hue of my paint mix where it was more purple or pink, and painting over the shadow lines. I subtly worked over the transitions to the dark areas, paying attention to the tones I could see. Next, I darkened the shadows, then gradually darkened areas of the flower using little lines. It was time for a tea break after this. With fresh eyes, I could then see where I needed to make tonal adjustments with my smallest brush, starting with the centre. Using a dark black mix, I neatened the edge of the flower centre, and then with a clean brush, I used a watery pink mix to brighten the petals with a glaze. Then let it dry. Now, with a darker purple paint mix, I added detail and definition to the petals. At this point, I'd zoomed in my focus and was looking for the subtle differences between my painting and the reference photo. I darkened the bud some more, then the greenery, and then with the very tip of my brush, I painted the tiny hair details on the stem. After one last round of darkening on the flower, I decided my painting was finished. A full-length video class of this cosmos, complete with an outline drawing you can trace, a reference photo and a list of paints, is available now with Nature Studio membership, and you can also find this one on Skillshare. If you've enjoyed this mini class, please subscribe to Nature Studio TV, then pop over to naturestudio.com, where you can sign up for a free class and find a whole heap of free resources to help you capture the beauty of nature on your paper. Thanks for watching, and if you want to find out more about my art school nature studio and the free class that's waiting for you there, keep watching. Have you taken my free full-length watercolour class yet? If not, you're in for a treat. In it, I guide you step by step through painting a juicy, realistic pear that'll make you think, wow, I did that. You'll learn a repeatable, reliable watercolour method that you can go on to use for painting all kinds of other subjects. I'm confident you'll discover something that I already know, that you're a better artist than you think. I teach everything about my watercolour method in this full-length class, and I'm sharing it with you for free because I want to show you what you can achieve with the right instruction. If it ignites a spark in you, just as it has for thousands of others who've taken this class, there are hundreds more detailed tutorials you can unlock if you choose to become a Nature Studio member. So get the free class now and get ready to wow yourself with your results.